Morning everyone, hope you're all okay and ready for a balloons demonstration today. We're just concentrating on our hot air balloons and our balloon cutter, both of which are in our deal of the week. So if you like what you see, then you know that you can get a special offer this week, so it's worth getting, even if it's just, I'll give you some ideas of when to use them for different occasions. Okay, so I'm going to get started straight away. We've got lots to show you as usual, and I'm going to start off with our balloon cutter, not the hot air balloons, but the balloon cutter. So it's this one here. This looks, I mean, you can use this for any occasion, obviously. I've got a little teddy I'm going to put on this later. It looks lovely if you do all the balloons in gold and then you against a black ice cake, or multicoloured for a child's cake. So you've got lots of things there. You can cut out the single balloons as well if you just want something holding one. Those two at the front there are full balloons, whereas the others are all tucked behind, so they wouldn't look so good. But you can just take those if you wanted a couple of smaller balloons. Okay, so I'm using the usual Renshaw flour paste, but if you've got one that you like, you prefer, then obviously use that. You can use sugar paste with some Tylo added, or Gumtrag. Gumtrag is stronger, I think. I like Gumtrag, you can, but yeah, most people have the Tylo. And the sugar paste, I really like the Sugar and Crumb sugar paste, and if you add some Tylo to that, you have a good firm paste which works well with our cutters. So I'm just putting the Trex on there, so it's white shortening. I haven't checked my kit. I got it together last night, and then this morning has been a little bit hectic, so I hope I've got everything to hand and I won't be up and down charging about like a mad thing. Right, so I'm just roll out as I always do, and don't lift. So when you're using patchwork cutters, you roll out the flour paste and don't lift it up and down, so it has a good contact on that Trex that on the shortening you put down. So the pull of the board is stronger than the Trexy cutter, as I'm going to show you now, and so it won't lift into the cutter. So all the patchwork cutters work the same if you're cutting out. You could just emboss it onto a cake and paint it on there if you wanted to, again, as you can do with all the cutters. So you roll this nice and thin. I want just one more for good luck. Okay, and then plenty of Trex on the base here where all the little ties are, so you want to, they won't cut out, or they shouldn't do unless your paste is too thick. Right, so I'm going to press around the outside edge first just to make sure that I've got a good cut, and then press over where the strings are, and then sort of medium pressure on the rest of it, on the inner lines there, and then a flick like so, whoop, and so you can see there that will come away very easily. Just peel that down and just keep your finger on the bit you want to keep so it doesn't lift and break. And I'm just going to use my little knife there because my paste has gone slightly thicker at the base. I don't know if you can notice that, but whereas it's a little bit thinner at the top, it's a little bit thicker at the base, and so I will just cut that out with my knife at the base there. That's it. Okay, just tidy it up. Now if you do get any little jagged lines, then just use your paintbrush with a little Trex on it. Look at my water brush there. A little Trex on it. I usually put a bit of the shortening on the back of my hand, and then you can just wipe that around the edge, and that will just take in any little feathery bits that might be there. My paste is slightly thicker than I would normally have it actually. And then, as you can see on the balloons here, these little bits will cut out, so you can see that that's a cut line, and it's slightly darker, you see, so you can tell that that will cut out, and you can remove the inner bits from there. Just tidy it up a little bit. So it just makes it a bit more interesting. My eyes are a bit stressed this morning. I've been on the iPad too much, I think. I think 3 hours is too much. I can hardly see now. Does your eyes go like that when you're on it too much? Right, okay, so tidy that up a little. And then I'm going to put that, I'll just lift it onto a little dusting sheet here. Okay. Well, I'm using my PME, just peel it like a skin, the PME scraper, but I just find these really nice size for dusting on. You could use a piece of laminated paper, that's what I used to use before. Right, so colouring it in, let's put this paste back under the cover, dry out, do it quickly. Now I'm using the Wonder Dust. I got the old style pots, but the Wonder Dust from Sugar and Crumbs. Oh, I'm trying to pick that up. It's underneath. They're lovely, lovely, shiny colours, and perfect for a balloon. So we have, I'll just reel off the colours for you. We don't sell these, but you can get them from Sugar and Crumbs. So this one is Shimmer Blue, and this one is Pistachio, Purple Haze, and then Frozen Blue. This is a lovely gold, I've got hardly any of that left. And then this one is Fusion Green. So we've got a good, nice little selection there. I'll bring all the lids down because I do paint these on. Now I'm keeping that one till the end. I could dry dust them and they'll be nice and shiny, especially if you rub a little bit of Trex on. But because the balloons are so close together, I think the dust would start to merge in. Each balloon wouldn't have a nice sharp definition. So I'm going to paint them with the isopropyl alcohol or Rejuvenator Spirit, or what's it called? What's the other one? Can't think now. Anyway, but always make sure that it's food grade anyway. So I'm going to start off, I'll choose the colour, and let me see, what paintbrush have I got to hand here? I thought I'd kept one separate to save me rooting, but it looks as though I'm going to have to root. That'll do. Okay, so this is number 4, I think. Oh no, number 2. Right, so I'm just painting this in. So just choose a couple of balloons. I'm just painting round like so. Don't worry about it being a little bit streaky at this point, because you can soon put another little, I'll show you about putting a little bit more dust on in a minute. Don't forget to do the little bit that's tied. Wipe that bit off. Gone over the edge. Just get some kitchen roll to dry my brush on as I go. Right, so I'm going to go onto the blue. So I'm just doing 2 of each colour. So round like so, work it down, just keeping all the brush strokes going in the same direction. And then there's the little tie on there. Choose another one, do one up here. So I'm not doing them next to each other the same colour, I'm just trying to spread them out a bit. But the ones that are on the outside of the bunch, make sure that you go around that cut edge. So it's not like colouring on top of a white background, you won't see that. Okay, so then I'll do some gold. I use this gold a lot on all sorts of things, it is lovely. So do that one, and another one, I'll do this big one here, and around that cut edge. I mean, they dry so quickly, this isopropyl, just get into that groove there. And I'll do a green. Now, normally, if this is on like in the sky, say, then what I do with the strings, I just brush over blue, so you've got like a blue background, so it looks like the sky behind the strings. And then I just paint those in, the strings, which I'll show you in a second. So you see, it doesn't take long to do. Just get all your colours on there, and What other colour haven't I used? Oh, this one's nice as well. Yeah, we'll do this one. They're all nice. So just get this down the centre. It's a good way of seeing what your colours are like as well, isn't it? You know, you put something like this on, then I'll come back to those in a sec. So I'm just going to dust over the whole of the brush part, let's see, the string part. Just looking for a little, I'll do this one, with a light blue. So just brush that down so you can see how nicely it goes on dry as well. So I've got the blue background, so I just turn that now so you can see what that looks like. And then I'm going to use my normal brown, my chocolate brown, and I'm just mixing a little alcohol in that lid. Whoops. Now you can see why I keep them in a tray. I'm so clumsy. Right, and a very fine brush. Just paint that in, and then I can just very gently just go down. But if you do make a mess, just go over it again with the blue. It'll just disappear any mistakes. I'm sure you won't make any. But just a nice fine brush down there. I'm not doing loads of shading on them. I'm leaving that for Tracy. She's the shading queen. Right, so let's see. Now this part that may look a little bit patchy, I'm just going to take a little bit of the dry dust, so I'll just work that in on the tray and then go over. So I've got my background painted, so I haven't got to worry about taking that colour right up to the edge. If it were, you know, if you were just doing the whole thing dry, you would really have to try and get the got a little stumpy brush somewhere. Let's see what that is. Yeah, you'd have to try and get the dust a nice even coating, but not going over onto the next one. So just by brushing the centre of each balloon, now that's fine. And I'll just go onto this green here. So it just picks it up nicely, and then I'll use the second brush in the gold. Oh, that's not the gold, that's the gold one, and that one. And then just get my little bellows. Now you can paint little highlights on there, or you can use this one. This is the one I kept separate. I'll just put that up there for now. And this is fabulous. It's the white sparkle. You see the shine in there, and great for Christmas. You can just sprinkle it on everything. It's just gorgeous. But what I'm going to do here, I'm going to use this old water brush, and I just want to be able to have no colour on that brush at all. And I'm just touching on here where I think the highlight would be if you were painting a white highlight on. But this just gives it a really nice sparkle, I think. Okay, so I just missed actually. I was going to pull this down. There's two balloons here, and I think I've missed the little tie on that one. Definitely on that one. Let's just get a bit of the gold. You know where they would knock the balloon. I think that's all of them. Yeah, just a couple. Right, so then you would take that off there. You could leave it to dry on something before you put it on. So you lift it like peel it. Don't pull it up, just peel it like a skin. Okay, now I've got one on here that I've already put on a board. I'll just show you this one. Oh, pick it up without dropping it. Okay, so that's one I've already put on. And I'm just going to I've just cut out 3 little bears to go on these things. So I've got them sitting on here. Now this little bear is, if I've got time, I'll show you at the end how to do it. I think Tracy's going to do this as a painted plaque next week. She's on. And so this little bear here is this little bear here. just lift that up there. So when it's cut out, it's from there. And when you get the Teddy Bears Picnic, if you've already got it, the exact bear is on there, but larger. And so it works out really nice for Mother's Day, because you can have the little bear with a flower handing it to the mummy bear. So they look exactly the same, just that this one's smaller. Okay, so I'll put that away. As I say, if I've got time, I will. I'll show you that. And this one can be hanging on to the end of the balloons like that. So because they've dried, you could put a little bit of paste. I'll use a bit of flour paste. I usually use sugar paste for this if I'm raising anything up. It just sticks better. But I'm just going to make a little ball and press that down. And then where his tummy is, I'm going to moisten. Again, I'm just going to use water for this. And pop that on. And then he goes there. And then he goes there. So it's just hanging onto the balloons at an angle. Now I've covered the ends of the balloons up. You could, if you wanted to, bring the tie, move him down a bit and put a tie through there so it looks as though he's holding them. But just for now, I just wanted to show you the balloons and what they look like on a little one's cake. Yeah, okay, so just put these other balloons to one side, because in the pack, that's the balloon, and as I say, it's on special offer. But in the other pack we get this. I'm not going to use that for a moment. And you get this and this and this. So you get 3 sizes of hot air balloon, which I'm going to do later. Go on this big cake. Oh, can't get it out of the thing. There you go. So 3 sizes of hot air balloon. And 2 clouds, which come in very handy. You can make sheep with them as well. A little umbrella, and a raindrop, because this can be a parachute or it can be an umbrella. So I'm going to do one of each of these, and then I'll go on to this set. Well, they're all the same set, but I'll go on to these cutters at the end. I'll just put that to one side. Now, what I've done here on this plaque, this is going to be the parachute. So all I've done, I've embossed that on, and then I've left it to dry. And it's really, these are really simple, quick designs. Let me put some alcohol in there. Oh, quite runny. And a fine brush. Where's that little fine brush I had before? That'll do. Okay, so all I'm going to do now is just paint up along the embossed parachute line. A bit skewy there. It's very much like the blossom and leaf, where if you load your brush and touch it in, it will run along, but you can't speed things up by helping it along there a little bit. Okay. Right, so then I'm going to cut out the top of this. You can cut it out in a coloured paste. I'm going to do everything in white, and then I can colour it up from there. So that just needs tidying up a little bit. Actually, those strings weren't very good, were they? But never mind. You could wash over them and just tidy that up a little bit. I don't want to leave it like that. Needs a bit of alcohol on there to scrape that off. The nice thing about dust, it soon dries off. The alcohol evaporates away. It goes back to a dust, and then you just scrape it off like that. That's better. Right. I'll put those colours out of the way. I need the brown, but I'll move those out of my way. Right, rolling pin. Let's see. So again, roll, don't lift. And Trex. Now just the top part of this. And remove all the bits around the outside edge. Just lift that onto my board. I'll just put that here to colour. And then I'll do I'm going to rub a little bit of Trex over there. That will catch the colour nicely. And I'll do this green. Excuse me. Now this is a larger area, so you can either paint it or just do what I'm doing now. And the Trex that I've rubbed on will hold the colour. But if you wanted to paint it and get a really sharp edge to that, then you can do that. So just bring that round and round there. Like so, and then we'll go with the green. So this one is the frosted leaf. The lime green would look nice as well on this. Okay, but you can do them in nice Christmas colours. This one in particular, I was going to show you this before I broke my arm, just before Christmas. We were going to have like a cake a day on there, and let me just move that out of the way. So this one works really well with our cute Christmas characters. So you can have one of the characters on the end of the parachute, and it looks really good because they've got their feet up, so they look quite funny, especially the reindeer, because he's got his feet up. But they all look good on there. The little picture that you get in with the set of cutters, it shows you what this looks like. Okay, so that's why when I embossed it, I pressed more heavily over the strings. I didn't press heavily here because I just want to, I don't want to have a deep groove to have to fill with the paste. But you can pop that on like so. That's it, that's fine. And then again, I can use one of my little bears, and it can be floating down. So you could put this on a blue cake plaque with some of the clouds around it, make a little scene. Now, how would that be going? It can be coming down at a bit of an angle as well. But the others, because I'll do it there because it would be coming down on his back, wouldn't it? He wouldn't be hanging onto that. I'll put it like that. Yeah, the small characters, the cute Christmas characters, do look really, really cute. So I'll just pop that on there. Bit of water, pop that back on. That's better. Be coming down on his back, wouldn't it? So perhaps not quite the right little figure to put on, but it gives you an idea of what it looked like. And then if you've got clouds, if you dry them, you can put those on little balls and they can be raised up as well, as can the canopy from the parachute. Okay, so that's that one. You know, I'm gonna fiddle around with that too much, and then when it snaps, I'll say I should have left it. I'll leave it there anyway. Now the other one, using the same cutter, what I've done here, I've got the handle, right, and the little raindrop. So that's the handle, and then I've got the little raindrop embosser to go. I couldn't make my mind up whether it's pointed side up. I suppose it should have been pointy side up really, but anyway, I did pointy side down. So unusual weather on this one. So they can be painted in a silver, a grey, or you can use this little sparkly bits on there. I might do it in lilac. And then again, so this is an umbrella this time. Let's see what colours I've got to hand. I'll do the white in a minute. Right, so it's a nice little umbrella. I've lifted it, so I need to re-roll it. So, and cut out along there, just lightly on the inner lines because you don't want them to cut. Take that away. So it's just exactly the same as for the parachute. Is an Australian raindrop as the yes, that'll do. It's an Australian raindrop. It was late last night when I did those. Yes, I can see now it should be that way, shouldn't it? Silly me, but anyway, should be the yeah. Well, I'll take that. It's an Australian one. Where do you get these small oval cake cards from? Most sugar craft shops should take those, sell those, Donna. I do like the oval ones. They do look just nice with the, if you've got a couple of things to put on them, or a flower spray if you want something longer. I'll have to look into it. I say these things and I never get around to it, do I? So what I'll do, I'll just go over this one with the pink again. Straightforward pink. But you could use your Wonder Dusts on these as well. If you've got your Wonder Dusts. Again, go around the cut edges so that you're not just having colour on top of a white background. And we could, I mean, you could put a frill on it. You could paint, I'll paint a couple of little flowers on it. Use this plum, bring that in. A little bit of plum in there. Or is it plum or is it violet? Oh, violet. Right. Definitely need my glasses on today, I think. Okay, so a little bit of alcohol in there. The alcohol evaporates away, you know, so you haven't got alcohol on there in the end. And then I'm just going to, oh, you probably won't see that. You could put dots on it, or little flowers. I'll put dots on, you're not going to see it otherwise. Just to jazz it up a bit. And the reason why I put this brolly and the parachute on with the hot air balloons, I made one by hand from a circle cutter, and when I did the cute Christmas characters, a gentleman phoned me up and he said, "You've got them on parachutes, but you haven't got a parachute on anywhere." And I was just about to have the hot air balloons made, and I quickly added the parachute onto that, and he was delighted. So yeah, you know, that's where the parachute came in. But it's all linked into flying through the air, I suppose, isn't it? You could paint little flowers, put a little frill along this. There's so much stuff that you can do. Let's have a little look. Water on there. Pop that on. Now you can paint the handle or just use it as a guide. Now I'm going to put this, another little bear, my last of my 3 little bears, on there. Okay. So again, a little piece of that. You could add a little point to the top, the little raindrop. You could cut it out and add that if you wanted to. The pointy top to the brolly. Let's see, put that there. And then I'm going to use that as a guide so that it will go over the little bear's hand or paw. Take a small piece of brown paste. So keep it thin, you don't want it a great big chunky handle. I'll have to start doing some Easter stuff soon, some nice spring flowers. We did, I had a private class on the other Saturday, and they made a basket of spring flowers, well, a mixture of fantasy flowers and spring flowers, and they all did such a wonderful job. It was a great and lovely little group. Okay, so I'm just going to put a little water on there. You can go thinner if you wanted to. Down there, then over the little bear's paw and round. So I'll start off there. So just using that as a guide. Over the little bear's paw. Just coax that in there. And just pop that down like so. But you don't even have to cut the bear out. You could emboss it and paint it. So you could, you know, the whole thing could just be painted. Okay. All right. So, oh, I'll paint these little upside down things. I might just do that. Let's see. Or I might just put that white sparkle on. Actually, that would look nice. So I'm just going to get a little bit of Trex. Trex on the back of my hand. There's my brush. So the warmth of your hand just keeps that nice and soft. I used to do this and mix colours, dust colours in with it, a bit like cocoa painting, only Trex painting. And people always thought I had a massive bruise on my hand because I used to have all the colours nice and warm and soft on the back of my hand. And when I went out shopping, I'd forget. And when you hand your money over, it was money in them days, not a card. And you hand your money over and people looked absolutely horrified at these pinks and blues and purples all over the back of my hand. Just a little bit more. So the Trex will just hold on to this lovely sparkle. I think that one's already been done. Okay, and then just, this is the little puddle here. Oh. I'll just have to gather some of this up. So if you tip it over onto a piece of paper, greaseproof paper, then you can just push, you know, that could go back in your pot, so you're not going to waste any. I haven't got any greaseproof paper to hand, so I'll just do that. So you can just see that you've got a nice shiny. I'm just going to just coax that around a little bit. But I would have painted them grey, so you've got like little grey raindrops. Okay, then that's your puddle there. All right, so it just gives you another idea of what you can use them for. You've got an umbrella, you've got a parachute, and so now I'm going to do the hot air balloons. So I'll cut out all the pieces first before I assemble it all on the cake. I'll just get a piece of pitching felt. And again, you can do all your multicolours. You can do the sparkly ones. It's entirely up to you. The shiny ones. Right. Okay. So, oh, let me get one here. So just start off with some white paste. Now, as I said, this is the clouds and the hot air balloons. We also have this and this one. We haven't put this one in the sale because it's only about £3. It's not expensive anyway, so that's not in the deal of the week. It's the balloons that are in the deal of the week. So put Trex on there, but this one makes this cake I think when you put that on the side, the whole thing just looks so much more interesting. Okay, so I've lifted it, so I have to re-roll. I am going to just move these colours out of the way because I'm so clumsy. I'll have those on the floor in no time. Okay, so roll this out. So this little house, the side design that I'm going to do now, that's what it's called, house side design. It also comes in with the aeroplane set, but so many people asked about just this little cutter that we also sell it on its own. So it comes in with aeroplanes or on its own. And I'm going to do it in greens, but you can do it in sort of lilacs and silvers and make it a sort of Christmassy. I'm mentioning Christmas already, but it makes a Christmassy scene if you do it in those cold colours. And then you can have Father Christmas on his sleigh going across the top. Right, so a cocktail stick here. I'm just going to pull this away from the trees. Just keep your finger on the bits you want to keep. And around the top here. And it is a straight run, but I just want it, I'll just go along with my knife just to make sure. Okay, so if I just put that on there, then hopefully, I know it's white on a light background, but you'll see it as I paint it in. It doesn't take long to paint, but there's trees all the way around here, and then you've got a little house there. So just make sure that it's not out of shape, which that one is. Not it matters because it's going to go on. Well, it's still soft, so I'll just leave that there ready for the parachutes, the hot air balloons. Okay, so again, I'm going to put it all out in white and then colour it from there. Just saves having lots of different coloured bits of paste. I'm only going to do one of each. Well, I might do two small ones. So roll it so it's nice and thin. And then this is the largest. No, it's not. This is the medium. Okay, so we'll cut that one out. So press around the outside, lightly in the middle, give a flick. This is the largest. So I'm going to turn it that way so that I can get more from this paste and get all three out of it then. So firmly around the outside, lightly in the middle, give a flick. And then same with the small one. Okay, move those out of that. And then I'll just cut a few clouds out from the paste that's left. So we've got small clouds, a couple of those, and large clouds. Might get two out of there. Let's see. Yeah. Right, so as always, pull the paste away and lift these onto your dusting board. Get a nice sharp cut on there. Put that one on there. The small clouds here. Always pull that paste away. Pop that one on there. There's the little diddy one. And then you've got two nice clouds there. Okay, 1 and 2. So you can use white satin on the, I don't think I've got it down here, maybe in that other little tray on there. So I've put the paste back on the cover. Now for this little house, I'm just going to get a couple of shades of green. So I've got a dark green, and the lichen green, and the frosted leaf, which isn't dissimilar to the lichen green, slightly different. You could use eucalyptus or anything like that. Right, so where's that brush? I'll use this one. And my alcohol. So I'm going to start off with the dark green. Where's, oh, yeah. Looking for the lid. So have it quite runny, and I'm just going to go all over, mist the house, just get different shades on here. So just that on there. As you can see, great care goes into this painting. Just splodge it on, put down there, a little bit down there. Right. Then I'll go for all the lighter green. Oh, there it is. Just put some in there. You could put orange trees and what have you. I'm just galloping along here. And then the lichen. Okay, down the side of the house there. I'll just go along now with a few different darker touches on there. If Tracy's watching now, she'll be going, oh God, what you doing? Should have had all sorts of shades on these. Right. And then I'm using a finer brush. I'm just going to do I think this is iced coffee, or it could be toffee. Oh, it could be something totally different. I think it's iced coffee. Either of those anyway. So just go round the side of the house there. Like so. A little bit of gold on there into the windows. And I think I'll do a blue door. I'm just going to reach down for my other colours here. So I'll do a blue door and a red. What roof? I'll do the blue door first. Oops. Okay, and then the roof can be in red. You do whatever colours you like. A little bit of alcohol on there. I'll do the chimney red as well, but you can do it brown or grey or whatever. Let's just have a look at it. Just get that into the roof tiles. like so. Just tidy that up a little bit around there. I think we have a couple of little green bits at the back there. That's it. Right, so I'll just put that to one side. But as I say, you can put lots of lovely different shades of, you do oranges. Depends on the year, doesn't it? Time of year, you could put orange trees. Awesome. Right, so then I'm just going to paint in these balloons. Firstly, I'll go over with a white satin on the, oh, that's not white. Let's see if I've got white here. No, I haven't. What's that one? I think this is ivory. We don't really want ivory, do we? Okay, so you could go over those with white satin, just, or red. We've got red on everything now. Red dust travels everywhere. I'll turn them over and I'll move that red away. Right. Okay, so then, largish brush. And I'll use some of that gold. Putting anything in with anything now. Okay, let's see what colour this is. Unusual. So I'll just go over that cut edge as well. Okay. And I'll do gold on that. I'll do gold on that one. Those colours would be too similar. Okay, and I'll do the same on this one, just so it's mixing. And then I'll do the pink. On here. And I have the green on this one. And a blue. Oh no, I won't put blue. Oh yeah, I can put blue. On this one. So just bring that together there. Just looking to see what colours I have got here. Oh, I've got a nice burgundy, I'll use that one on this. Oh no, I've done them all, haven't I? Right, so the baskets I'm just going to go over with brown. So I'll just do that on all of them. But you, as I say, it's your design, so you would paint those in whatever colour you want. Okay. Smashing. Right, so I'm going to put these onto a cake. Let me just move these out of the way. So I've only iced the front of this cake just to give you an idea of what it looks like when they all go on the cake. So I'm going to keep hold of the greens because I'm going to show you how to just stickle the sides to make it look like a little scene. I'll move these out of the way. Like so. Lovely. Right, put those on there. Move that out of the way there. I'm going to bring the cake over and just get rid of some of this colour. So Trex absolutely takes the colour from your board. It brings it up lovely. So just get rid of all that. So you can either now just use colour, just as I'm going to, the dust colour, or you can use coloured royal icing, but the stippling effect is the same. So I'm just going to bring this, oh, move those off there. So I've got a light blue cake. Just put it on my turntable. So I've only iced the front of it because I end up with lots and lots of cakes otherwise, and I strip them off anyway. Right, so on here, so I've got a pale blue and then this sort of eucalyptus green for the grass. I thought, well, it does look nice. So I'm going to just brush some of that over there. So you can just stipple that colour over and just bring that like so, and then go over with your alcohol. And it just gives a nice lighter shade. So when I've iced the board, to give the texture, I've gone over with my pot brush. So ice the board and then just do that so that you get a nice texture. When you're doing a dummy cake, do you put buttercream underneath? No, I don't put buttercream underneath. I do put Trex underneath because it's easy to remove the icing when you're finished. But buttercream is just a waste of ice and sugar really. So no, the Trex just acts the same as you would do with buttercream. Okay, and then I've taken the icing over the edge of the board, if you can see that, because I didn't really want ribbon on this. So I've just gone round again with my pot brush around the edge of the cake side, and whoops, that will just give that sort of grassy look all the way around. So take a little bit of time just going over that and putting different shades of green on. Okay, right, so then, that's gone a bit low there. So then I'm going to do the same, but I've got different, I'll use that shade, and there's different shades of green. And you can, if you wanted to, you could draw on little tree trunks, but remember this house is going on and you don't want a massive tree compared to the little house that's going on there. So all I'm going to do is take a piece of sponge, so I'm just ripping some from my square. Oh. I need a coffee. Right. So all I've done, I've ripped some of this off. Don't cut it with scissors because that's too neat. What you want is this rough look to it. And then you pick up start off with a middle-sized green, a middle shade green, and you're just going to start off putting that around the side. Just to get a sort of background colour on there. And if you do it in royal icing, you could pipe a line of green royal icing and then dab it so that you're really joining the board to the cake. I'll just go up there with that middle, something like the lichen. You have to be brave when you do this. That's it. Do you sell the eucalyptus green? I looked last night, they look as though they only come in sets. Ah, right. That's our green. Oh, we did put some together for Christmas, and it was a Christmas pack. We do need to work and get some different packs together. But we will sell them because some people have bought the bought the pack, you may not want to have the sort of duplicate colours, so we probably will sell them different. So this just gives you a sort of a hint of trees. You can then start to, if you wanted to, paint in, I'll mix in there a few little darker bits on there, you know, the finer details, so you're going to get more of a tree shape on there. So it's just dabbing colour on, really, just take it up. If you wanted to do like a trunk like that, and then just do a few little green bits, the trunk would probably be better in brown, but you could just do a few little green bits along the top there. Okay, so you just put in hints, because this isn't what's going to be focused, this is going to be just a background, really. Now, where's that little house, I think? Oh. Right, small palette knife. There's my little house. So it's still soft, so it will go around the side. Just position it where you want it to be, and then a little water on there. Tap that on. And look, I'll have to look at it from the front, because at the moment we've got a Dorothy house is flying off through the air, so we need to just bring it down. That's it. Okay, and then if you didn't catch the cut edge of it, then go back with some green on your brush and just go along like that, so that you haven't got the white paste showing. Tidiness to it. So that's just giving you a little background. Then you would attach your balloons. So just moisten the back. Now I have to get this straight, because I don't want it to look as though it's about to crash. Okay, so we've got that one. And then we've got this one. And there. So I'm putting them on while they're soft, obviously, because if you'd done a round cake, if they're dried, it'd be sticking out at the sides. It wouldn't look too good. So you just cut out loads and loads of these. Have a night where you're making all the balloons, and then cover them with plastic. And even that would keep them soft enough. If you put them inside a plastic bag, that would keep them soft enough to go onto your cake the next day, but firm enough maybe to handle. And there, and then I'll put this balloon on. This cloud on backwards, because it's got a little bit of red on it. Okay, and that one, I would need to spend a bit more time with my background trees here. Needs just sponging a little bit more. And this one, maybe that one over there. Oh no, up in the sky. And then this little tiny one here. And so you soon have a nice little scene going on. But I think the little red house, the little red roof house, just needs a little bit more painting in. But it just gives it that, it shows the height of where the balloons are going. Okay, so that is the hot air balloon set, and you've got the little parachute and the little umbrella, so that's all in that one set, not the house, that comes separately. And of course the other balloons, which I did earlier, that's also a separate one. Okay, so yeah, I hope you've enjoyed that little dem, and it inspires you to maybe, you know, the Christmas Cakes again, you can have the hot air balloons with the Santa waving from it if you want to make a minute Santa to go in there. Anyway, my mind works overtime. I hope you've enjoyed it. And don't forget, they are on the deal of the week this week, and then we will be changing it for next week. I don't know what I'm doing next week yet. Probably patchwork squares. I think that's a nice one. You get lots in that you can use for lots of children's cakes. And I know Tracy's on the 14th, I think, so yeah, watch out for that one. But thanks for joining me, and I hope to see you again soon. Okay, bye.